If I had to sum up how I feel about this episode in one word, that word would be fun, or delightful, or entertaining, or amusing, or, well, you get the picture. These words are all fitting ways to describe an episode that was just a blast from start to finish. A festival of smiles and joy. It's really not surprising that this is how I feel about it. After all, we're talking about our main characters squaring up alongside a gym leader against the Elite Four. Something previous series never did. It's literally impossible not to find this thrilling. So this episode had everything it needed to succeed from the get-go, and it delivered. Not only were the battles themselves supremely fun and enjoyable, but the banter and interactions between these many amazing characters was also fantastic, and an integral part of why this episode ended up being such a marvelous delight. We will of course take an in-depth look at everything that made this episode so great. But first, as always, what exactly happened in this episode? Let's recap. In this episode, Liko and friends finally make it back to Naranja Academy alongside all the other students, including Coral and Sidian, revealing that they also passed their basics test. Club L announces that before handing them their next assignment, they will battle special guests. The Elite Four as revealed by Gita. Liko is concerned since she knows that the Elite Four are strong. Nemona, however, reassures her by revealing that the gym leaders they faced will battle alongside them in double battles. Iono soon appears since Dot goes first, and their opponent is Poppy, who sends out Tinkaton and Copperajah. Iono and Dot meanwhile will use Belly Bolt and Quaxley. Dendra, the referee, reveals that there are some rules. The gym leaders cannot use Terrasto, they and the students win by knocking out just one Pokemon, and they lose if the student's Pokemon faints. The battle begins with Belly Bolt using Discharge, which hilariously leads to friendly fire and is easily nullified by its opponents. Copperajah counters with Sandstorm, which envelops both opposing Pokemon, hindering them. Tinkaton then uses Gigaton Hammer to dive bomb towards her opponents. Iono cleverly has Belly Bolt use Reflect. Intimidated, Dot has not done anything. However, thanks to encouragement from Iono, she finally joins the fray. Quaxley uses Water Gun, which Tinkaton easily deflects with her hammer, though this allows Quaxley to close the gap and use Liquidation, which Copperajah blocks. Tinkaton then uses Brick Break to shatter the Reflect, and Copperajah follows up by using Rock Slide to toss a giant boulder, which Tinkaton shatters, turning it into an actual Rock Slide. Smartly, Belly Bolt tanks the entire attack, keeping Quaxley safe. It then uses Slack Off to heal the damage. Quaxley starts dancing, giving Dot the idea to have him dance on Belly Bolt to trigger Electromorphosis, while Iono has the idea to have Belly Bolt bounce Quaxley up high, avoiding a Gigaton Hammer in the process. Dot terrastalizes him in midair and he uses Liquidation to clash with Tinkaton's Gigaton Hammer. Both end up being knocked back. However, Belly Bolt sneaks up on Copperajah and it KOs it with Sap Cannon. So Iono and Dot win. Dot is not happy though since Iono had to carry her to victory. So she vows to get stronger, hoping that next time she can win on her own. Meanwhile, Coral and Kofu, revealing who she had her test with, finish their battle with Larry. Glalie used self-destruct to KO everyone, resulting in a loss for Coral and Kofu, something she does not take well. Brassius soon arrives, revealing that Roy is next. He excitedly takes the stage, eager to battle, especially alongside Brassius. Their opponent is Hassel. Upon learning that he is a Dragon-type specialist, Roy is excited, hoping to learn something that can help him against Rayquaza. Hassel sends out Baxcalibur and Flapple, and Roy chooses to use Fuecoco while Brassius sends out Dolliv. The battle begins with Fuecoco using Flame Charge. Baxcalibur and Flapple retaliate with Ice Shard and Acid Spray, respectively, but Dolliv blocks the latter with Seed Bomb and Fuecoco avoids the former. While Fuecoco scores a hit, Baxcalibur brushes it off and it gets a power-up thanks to Thermal Exchange. It then uses Glaive Rush, which Fuecoco just barely avoids. Fuecoco retaliates with Disarming Voice, dealing some good damage. Flapple counters with Grab Apple. Fuecoco hilariously takes it head-on since he just sees a delicious big apple. Fuecoco fires back with Flamethrower, boosted by a helping hand from Dolliv. I love that this takes the form of using oil to boost the flames. Flapple fights back with Twister, which creates a giant flaming maelstrom. Baxcalibur jumps into it, freezing it and activating Thermal Exchange. It then uses Glaive Rush again, which Fuecoco just barely avoids once more, this time thanks to Dolliv. Fuecoco and Dolliv attack together yet again. They use Flamethrower and Seed Bomb, but Baxcalibur and Flapple both use Protect. Fuecoco then terastallizes and he uses Flamethrower while Dolliv uses a giant oil-covered energy ball for another combo attack. But Baxcalibur uses Blizzard to freeze it and it then uses Glaive Rush to shatter through the ice and land a hit on both Fuecoco and Dolliv. This knocks them out, so Hassel wins. Roy is happy though since he had fun, and he learned the value of working together. Meanwhile, Sidian and his partner Tulip, revealing who he had his test with, lose to Rika since Garganacl is defeated when it covers for Espathra. Something Tulip berates Sidian for since he essentially threw the match, but he says that he refuses to win by sacrificing someone else. Something Tulip respects, though Rika reproaches him for wasting her time. The episode ends with Liko and Kathy stepping up to the field since it's their turn to battle and Rika will be their opponent. Okay, first up, the battles. I think Iono and Dot vs Poppy was the best one. While it took Dot a while to get into the fight, once she did, there was just a lot more variation and movement in this battle overall. Plus, I love how clever and creative Dot and especially Iono were throughout the battle, working together and covering for each other. Iono did a wonderful job. She was an amazing teammate, smartly taking the offensive when she could and expertly defending when the pressure was on them. She's truly the reason why Dot won, which is why I can accept that she defeated an Elite Four member despite being too much of a novice yet to accomplish this realistically. Iono offering encouragement on top of everything else she did cements her as just a fantastic mentor. Truly a remarkable character that never fails to delight me both on and off the battlefield. I also love that Tinkaton and Copperajah worked together very well and that this battle served to motivate Dot to get stronger. Roy and Brassius vs Hassel on the other hand was not quite as good, mostly because it felt too repetitive, with Fuecoco and Olive attacking with a combo 3 times, while Baxcalibur and Flapple retaliated somehow. The battle was off to a good start with a lot more action and more engaging cooperation, but it got stale quickly. I do like, however, how the combination attacks were treated like pieces of art that Roy, Brassius, and their Pokemon put together using their own unique styles and tastes. Hassel adding his own touch to the pieces reinforced the theme of artistic composition in this battle. Fitting considering Brassius and Hassel are both artists, and that Roy got to experience what being one is like back in episode 48. While this battle was not as good as the previous one, nor did it have as big of an impact on the main character in it, it was still fun, especially since it matched the characters thematically better. I also like that despite being quite different, Roy and Brassius are actually a great duo. They work and bounce off each other beautifully, which makes their interactions very enjoyable to watch. As for the other 2 battles, well, it's unfortunate we really didn't get to see much from them. I get that Coral and Sidian are minor characters when compared to Liko and company, but I would have loved to see their battles in full, since they are both fun characters. Moreover, Larry might have gotten the short end of the stick in terms of screen time if he does not get to battle in the next episode like I expect and hope. It also sucks for Kofu and the Tulip for the same reason, though I'm sure they will get more time to shine later on, and the same can likely be said about Larry. From what we did get to see though, Coral's battle had a hilarious conclusion, and, like Tulip, I can respect Sidian for refusing to win at someone else's expense. Next, we have to talk about characters. I already covered how amazing returning characters that we have seen plenty already, aka Iono and Brassius were. Jita could have done more, but I understand that the focus this time was on the Elite Four. I'm sure she will get her time in the spotlight at some point. Nemona also didn't get to do much, but I appreciate that she's clearly nurturing Roy to be a worthy opponent for her someday. This is great not only because it matches her character in the games, but also because it means we can expect more battles between her and Roy in the future. Clavel, Jack, and Dendra were all cool in the little time they got, but they also definitely deserve more focus. The Elite Four were of course the stars, and I'm happy that most of them got a fair showcase. I already went over how Larry got shafted, but hopefully there will be more of him next episode. Rika will get the bulk of her spotlight in the next episode, so not much to say about her for now. From what little we got though, am I the only one that feels like she's a lot more intense in the anime? In the games, she feels a lot more laid back even in battle. Poppy and Hassel were the ones that really got the shine. Poppy was adorable as expected. I love how she reached into her little purse to take out her Pokeballs, and how she referred to Iono and Dot with respect, the way a child should speak to their elders. She's truly endearing, especially since she was clearly having a lot of fun. Hassel was a joy to watch, since his kindness and desire to help and teach others were very apparent. From the way he greeted Roy and Brassius and told them to go easy on him, LOL, to how he cried after the battle because his opponents both grew from the experience. His willingness to join in on their artistic battle shows that he's just a nice and fun guy all around. So they definitely gave the Elite Four, most of them, the treatment they deserved. Hopefully we get more of them all in the future. So yeah, overall this episode was wonderful. The battles were all fun, every character was a delight to watch as were their interactions, and I love that I got to see two of my favorite Gen 9 Pokemon, Tinkaton and Baxcalibur, in action. While it's sad that Tinkatink did not get to see her final evolution and some characters and battles were shortchanged, this episode was still a blast from start to finish. I absolutely enjoyed every minute of it and I was smiling the whole way through. But that's the review and the video. Please let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below, and click on the links on screen now to see my reviews of the previous 3 episodes. I will see you over there. Thank you so very much for watching.